Hey guys, it's Amy and Zoe back, and I'm going to throw up a quick video here on NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. It starts on November 1st, runs to the 30th, and your goal is to hit 50,000 words. That's writing 50,000 words of your own on some project. So, this is my 12th year, so I'm kind of an old veteran on this, and but I really like it. It's always different. Every year is different. Some years are pretty easy. Some years I am able to just put a lot of words out. I have a couple of years where I was up in the 90s, and I think 112 is my highest for 1 month. I know there are people out there who do a lot more than that, but that was pretty good for me when working full time. Anyway, so, but mostly mine come in, you know, I do from 50 to 80,000 is pretty typical for my NaNoWriMo wordage. So anyway, this is a cool website. If you go to nanowrimo.org, you can sign up, have a username, join a region of other writers so that you can go and meet people who are also doing this crazy adventure. So now again, I have done this many years, and I also have done it in a couple of different regions because of moving. So I really always find it the most helpful to meet other writers and you can commiserate, but also you get together, and I would recommend, if you're doing this, to get out and meet people and actually go to the write-ins. Now, admittedly, maybe the first couple times you go, you won't achieve as much writing because you're talking to people and getting to know people, but once you settle in, I usually can write pretty well anywhere once my headphones are on. But you know, it's kind of nice to take breaks when other people are asking questions, or maybe they want just reassurance that they're gonna make it. You know, it's just, I think it's really a good bonding thing for an activity that normally is so solitary, and you're usually by yourself, and you know, some people are just, I know some people don't want to do that, and that's fine. I'm just saying, but for me, it's the best part about NaNoWriMo, is that even with my whole getting words down on paper, the thing is that it's a community of writers, and I think that's the most fun thing. And a lot of the writers, yeah, they only write the once a year. There's other ones like that we try to write during the rest of the year too, but it's just, everybody's so different. Everybody's writing something so different. It's just so much fun to hear all the stories. And I really again, looking forward to it. And I have a week. Yay! But I do want to make a confession right up front here, is that I actually don't know what my project is going to be this year. I had this idea a couple months ago that I was going to rewrite a novel that I did back in 2000. Did I say 14? No, 2013. I wrote this novel and started the second one. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, and I had it all planned out, you know, pretty much. But just a couple months ago, I had this brainstorm that, yes, the middle book is pretty extraneous. It was just kind of padding, and I really didn't need it to be a trilogy. It should have been a duology, because it was still too much for one book. And again, I'm looking at like 100,000 words for each book. It was too much. It was too much for one book, but it had to, so I could make two books. So it could be a duology. So I had this whole idea. I was going to rewrite this novel during Nano, and then write the second book, you know, soon after that, because then I'd have changed everything. Well, as we got closer, and I did make some notes, and I started planning it, and I realized, well, rewriting it is not exactly what I want to do right now. Like, I know I have to change things to shorten it to the 2-novel idea from a 3. I have to cut out a lot of extraneous stuff. And that to me is more editing and rewriting, which is not something I want to do during Nano. Because Nano, you want to just blow out right and not edit and not think too closely on anything except getting the story down. So I've decided to abandon that. And then I thought about a novel that I had tried to write last year. I abandoned it and went back to the novel that I had been already writing last fall. So, and then finished, you know, that's when I finished I had mentioned at some point I'd finished it in January. So the point is I finished it, that one. So I had written quite a bit on it, and then Nano, I started something new thinking, I'm going to start something new. And my brain just would not go there, and I did not think it far enough through for plot-wise. So I stalled out. and I kind of went, well, what do I write now? Well, I changed stories and went back to the novel I'd already started. But that had worked. I mean, I got words for that, and then, you know, as I said, a month and a half later, I finished it. So, which is good. So, I mean, I still made progress. So, I thought about resurrecting that novel because I'd only written 20,000 words on it, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just restart or change it around or restart from where I stopped last time. And then I'm like, well, I still don't know. I don't really feel like doing that. I really want to start with something fresh. So that in the last 2 weeks, I've realized that I got to come up with something. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I have a week. So I did a little idea plotting kind of, or throwing ideas down on paper, just try to see what I feel like. And I haven't come up with anything solid. I have a couple of ideas that are kind of, oh, that might be kind of good, but I'm not sure yet. So honesty, a week out, I don't know what I'm writing. But I do want to mention that because of what happened last year, I think it is good to mention that if for some reason you do stall out on your novel, another author, or an author I saw on Twitter just last night was talking about Sam Sykes. If you don't follow him, he's hilarious. And I mean, his books are fun too. It's a fun fantasy. They're hilarious. Anyway, but he wrote that, you know, a lot of authors have 2 projects going at once. So there is their main project that they're focusing the most on, but they have a side one that's not related to that one, but is maybe more purely fun, or it's a whole different genre, or it's something different, so that if they stall out on one, then they work on the other one. Now, I've never worked well on that. Actually, I've never been able to do that. But this year might be the year where that could happen, since I don't know yet what I'm going to write. But I do put it out there that a lot of writers do that. Again, as I said, I've never done it for Nano, so I suppose it's worth. I just thought I'd put it out there because I just thought it was very interesting. I do want to put a couple of tips on here, just because in case you are thinking about doing Nano with me, I encourage you to do that. And there are my cats playing, sorry. One of the things I always recommend everybody to do is in the first week, when you start on November 1st, and definitely that first weekend, if you have any time at all, buffer your numbers. So write as much as possible in the first week, get as much down, try to get the highest word counts you possibly can. Because week 2 is always kind of like a letdown. It's like, oh, I just did all this work and I'm still so far away, and you just kind of freak out in week 2. But I also like to tell, especially those in the US, Thanksgiving is coming. And as much as you like to think somehow you have holiday time and you might have days off, hey, that's all well and good. But if you hang out with family, they might not let you write. So I always have a buffer of at least a couple days before Thanksgiving. A lot of times I try to get pretty far ahead before that, because I know as soon as I get to my mom's house, that computer is not getting touched unless she's asleep or she's too tired to yell at me to go do something. I mean, I'm not saying that meanly. I'm just saying usually because we have Thanksgiving at my mom's house, my parents' house, it's just chaotic. We have to get all this stuff together and it's just on the go. And again, if I pull out the computer, they just think I'm bored. So it doesn't work so well. Even though I tell them every year I do this. And as I said, this is year number 12. Did I say this in this video? I don't know. I keep trying to write that to this. So I don't know. I'm losing my mind here. But that's, if you, especially if you're American and you know you're going to hang out with your family, have a buffer at least a couple days around Thanksgiving, just so you can get back from Thanksgiving and can write again. But you're not going to write on Thanksgiving. Especially if you start drinking. I don't know. Anyway. Another thing, as I said, I really encourage people to go to the write-ins. I think they're just wonderful. And I think everybody should go and visit and talk with other writers. I just think it's so worth it. And, but I also suggest that you try to set aside a little money if you can, so that you do buy things when you go out. I think it's a big thing for you just to buy a coffee or just to buy a little treat or something just so that you're showing the establishment that you're hanging out with, especially coffee shops, that, hey, I'm a paying customer. I'm not just using your Wi-Fi, which you shouldn't be on the Wi-Fi because you should be writing. Anyway, unless you have Google Docs or, you know, one of the other jobs. Well, you know what I mean. I meant you should be writing. You just, anyway. I'm in a weirdly weird mood. I don't know. Anyway, sorry guys. The only other thing I want to bring up is that it's always a good idea to have a notebook. Now, even if you don't write in the notebooks very often, or you know, even this little small, you know, a small little traveler's notebook. Anyway, you can have some kind of notebook that you have some paper somewhere, because you're going to be places or at work where, you know, you're going to think your just mind will go to your story and you want to write down that idea. You're not going to remember if you don't write it down. Believe you me. I have forgotten so many good plot points over the years that I've learned to write down stuff, even if it's on sticky notes. I mean, I got Post-it notes all over my desk at work, but especially during November, as I write stuff down and then I put it away, so when I do go to write my novel, I remember that idea, even if it's just a tab thing. But I always have a notebook, even though in later years I don't write so much in them. I usually have you know, my docs are, they're in my, well, they were on my computer. Not anymore. Anyway, this year I might be doing a lot more handwriting when I'm somewhere until I get back to my computer. It actually travels well to my really ancient Mac, but you know, you never know how it's, but I still will have this in my car, or carry it with me when I go to write-ins, or when if I go for, you know, anywhere where I just think I might, like again, work, I'll have this so I can pull it out and make a little note to myself. So I don't know. I really suggest having a notebook for your project anyway, just to keep certain things there, like names of who, like I have a list of names usually, like the alphabet, so you don't use the same letters over and over, because that'll drive me crazy. So I always make an alphabet list, and then as I write people's names in, you know, I don't know, that's just a little trick. I don't know how to explain that. So yeah, alphabet. So not everybody has a C name or an M name, or not all the last names are J's. I don't know. You know, it's just like, you ever read those books where you're like, why are there 3 C names and they're all main characters? That makes no sense. This doesn't work for me. Anyway, so, anyway, so those are a few tips. I don't know. This is kind of a long video. I guess I didn't make it as quick as I wanted to, but I am a week out from NaNoWriMo. I will be vlogging during doing the writing experience. I'm kind of curious to see how my moods go up and down, and how much writing I get every day. I do have some conflicts coming up early. I have a seminar I have to go to on the 2nd and the 3rd. I'm not looking forward to those. And then Saturday and Sunday, which is when I would really do a lot of writing, I've volunteered to take my great aunt over to see my cousins, and so I lose those 2 days too. So I need to I'll be kind of behind probably at first, and then I'll probably have to make it up next week on the 2nd week, which will be kind of hard. So we'll see how it goes. You'll see all the pain and struggles, I guess. So anyway, so that's it. Any questions, let me know. Again, check out the website, nanowrimo.org. It's really easy to sign up and then join the region in your area, so that you can find out where their meetups are and where they're kicking off the on the 1st, and any other events that they have. It's just so fun. And as I said, I haven't been writing much, so this will be a great kickstart. Even if I don't know what I'm going to write yet, I don't care. There are going to be words on a page, which is great. So I will see you guys later. Bye.